All right, we're here at the Samsung booth. We had a chance to check it out a little while, so I thought we could go around, show you guys the cool stuff, and talk a little bit about it. We'll skip over the BS and get to the best stuff. So let's get started and not wait any longer. All right, so first let's take a look at the TVs. This is the new QLED, and what's interesting about this is it's got a new type of quantum dot, and those of you who are huge nerds like me, you know I talked about the different color spaces on my other channel. So this is going to have 100% color volume. You know that with HDR, one of the big deals is as you get brighter, it actually doesn't wash out as much as opposed to standard. And this time, it's got 100% color volume, so no matter how high up you go, to some degree, it's not going to wash out the color. So over here they have a little demo where they increase the brightness of the scene. On the bottom, you would notice that the colors get a lot washed out. Up top, they pretty much stay as they should be. Really awesome. I'm pretty excited about this type of HDR. Not really sure how LG or anything else compares to that. And so right now the color space they said is the DCI color space. Not really sure about HDR Rec 2020, but still, let's move on. Another cool type of TV they have is the Gapless wall mount, and the interesting thing about this, you can see this is the only connection you need. This tiny little wire. I'll put a zoom in for B-roll so you can see it. This is actually, I believe, a 16-foot cable, if I recall correctly, and you can mount that and put it anywhere. If you point it over there, that's actually where the box goes. So you can really hide it anywhere. I guess you could even put it behind the wall if you really wanted to. So I think this is really neat. It basically means that you can mount the TV anywhere. You don't have to have a huge bunch of cables hanging down because that optical cable is going to handle everything, and you'd plug all the cables into the box, hide everything out of the way. Really cool. Actually, before we move on, I did want to point out another type of exciting TV. This is 8K, so that's going to be 4 times a 4K TV, which, if my math is right, that's 16 times a 1080p. And then, now this is the 65-inch. And look over here. What on earth is that? That's a 98-inch. Huge TV. So if you want to knock out one of your walls and replace it with an entire TV, you can go ahead and do that now with the QLED again from Samsung. So this is pretty exciting. Probably going to go save up for about 100 years and get one of these. So let's move on. All right, so moving on a bit, I wanted to show you guys this cool display. They got some cool art pieces. Oh, wait a minute, it's another TV. So this is the Samsung Lifestyle TV, and it's actually designed to blend in and kind of be an art piece in itself. So you can put it anywhere on your wall, and it will blend in with any other paintings and art, so it doesn't look like a giant TV sitting in your room. And they haven't really talked much about it. They haven't released any of the specs. Whether it's 4K, kind of looks like it. And also they have another one here, so they have a few different styles you can get. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't actually know what it was immediately. And you can see here that this frame is actually part of the screen itself. So something to watch out for. I don't think they released too much info about it yet, but keep an eye out for that. All right, so this honestly is going to be my favorite thing that I've seen here so far. This is the CFG 70 monitor. And the reason I'm excited about this is I've been looking for a monitor myself that is both color accurate and high refresh rate. Before this, you really couldn't get that at all. You could either get a TN panel, which had absolute trash colors, and then that TN panel would have a high refresh rate, or you could get a IPS, which has bad latency for input, but it does have those good colors. Now, this has a quantum dot panel. This is 1080p, 144 hertz, only 1 millisecond input time. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and I'm pretty excited about this. Depending on how much it costs, probably going to pick one up myself at some point and replace my current TN panel that I use for gaming. Right now I have to use a separate TN panel and IPS, one for editing, one for gaming. Now I could probably just combine it into one. This is 1080. They also have some high resolution ones. They have a 1440p over there, as well as a big long curved one. You can see it's got the quantum dot with the sRGB 125%, and it's got AMD FreeSync. Not sure if any of these have G-Sync. Also, that's an 1800R curve, so not too curvy. I don't even like the curve, to be honest. I'd rather just be flat, but you gotta take what you get. So pretty excited about this, and now we can move on to some of the other computer stuff. All right, so if you ever needed to transfer 3.2 gigabytes in 1 second, well, for the 3 of you who have, you can now do it with the new Evo 960 M.2 chip. So this is going to be your storage chip. It's got a 1 terabyte capacity, which even a few years ago was unheard of in a 2.5-inch form factor on an SSD, and now you can get it this tiny. Pretty insane. So I thought I'd just quickly show you guys that. Pretty awesome. All right, so this is the new T3 Portable SSD, and the reason I'm excited about this is probably because right now I have one of those external hard drives, it's USB, and the issue with that is you drop it, it's done. You're probably gonna break. With this being SSD, don't really have to worry about it. 1500 Gs, and also being an SSD, you're gonna get the increased performance. You got 450 megabytes a second, not gonna get that with a hard drive. And then also it's only about 50 grams, much lighter. And also for those security nuts like myself, you're gonna get that hardware encryption, 256-bit AE6 encryption. So you don't have to worry about BitLocker or anything like that with Windows. It's hardware encryption, you're not gonna lose any performance doing that. Also USB 3.1, you're gonna get the full performance on the drive through USB. So this is exciting to me. I don't know if you guys are excited as I am, but live with it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted a computer screen on your refrigerator? So the three of you who answered yes, you now have one with Samsung's new fridge. It's actually got a couple cool features on here. So you can actually view inside. They have a camera that doesn't have live video, but it actually takes pictures, so the light doesn't stay on inside necessarily when it doesn't have to. You got a food list. You can add different things in there. Apple, you can also set expiration dates, that sort of thing. And if you want to set a timer, for some reason, you want to go on the internet, you want to go on Twitter, you want to tweet from your fridge, you can do that now. Recipes, right on your fridge. You can set the number of servings. So if you're cooking for yourself or you are, I don't know why you would ever need to look up a recipe for 300 people, but you can now do it. So if you want to make, you need 300 lemons for that. Also different apps. I'm assuming you get a bunch, but radio on your fridge. Yep, that's the thing. And you can talk to it. It's a microphone on the refrigerator, guys. Although there is one really cool feature. This is actually a water. This is kind of like a Brita filter, except it is automatically refilled. So actually, I wish my fridge had one of these. You don't have to worry about pouring it in from the sink. You don't have to worry about filling up the cup. It's all ready to go. So that's actually one of the few cool features of this that are actually super useful. Everything else is a bit neat, but not really necessary. I think we're done with this. So that was a quick look at the Samsung booth. They had some other stuff, but it wasn't really new and it wasn't quite interesting. I thought that was the coolest stuff, or at least the most notable. So I think the gaming monitors, the storage stuff is really cool, whereas the fridge is kind of, I don't really know why you would want that, but there were some cool features in it, so I'm not going to knock it. Also, the TV, actually pretty cool. They talked about the Quantum Dot with the 100% color volume and the DCI color space. So I'd love to see how that really compares with actual OLED. What they have back there is QLED, not true OLED as far as I can tell. So still looks amazing. HDR is obviously a big thing here at CES. So I would love to see how these things evolve and stack up against each other in the year going forward. So we'll have to see what happens next year at Samsung. Right now, pretty cool stuff going on. Hope you guys enjoyed it.